Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and syndicated on Abundant TV, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to talk about tax scams, and these are consumer alerts, so make sure you're aware of those. And also, I hope you are in the process of having your taxes done. That deadline is coming up pretty soon. And if you're looking for someone in this area to file your taxes, find Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC. Rhonda's been handling my taxes since 2013, since we moved back from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll tell you what, she's a champion of you, and she will help you get back the biggest refund possible. And if you have to pay in, she'll try to help you go through that as well. So the telephone number to reach Rhonda is 256-281-9903. That's 256-281-9903. We're going to go through some scams. Text scams, tax scams, and consumer alerts. You can find all of these on irs.gov. irs.gov. And believe me, the scammers are out there. They're trying to take hold of your money and your identity as well. So let's be careful, okay, and be very, very, very smart about this. Be very wise. Okay, now in the news, let's talk about this. And these are thousands of people who have lost millions of dollars and their personal information to tax scams. Scammers use the regular mail. They'll use telephone or email to set up individuals, businesses, payroll, and tax professionals. They don't leave anybody out. The IRS doesn't initiate contact with taxpayers by email, nor by text, or social media channels to request personal or financial information. Recognize the telltale signs of a scam, and we're going to talk about this, okay, and get a little bit more into detail. They're not going to call you, and this has happened several times. Several of you guys, several of my listeners and watchers have mentioned that somebody has called. Several of these scammers have actually said, go to Walmart and get a gift card, and you can give us that account number and whatever on the gift card from Walmart. Come on, IRS is not going to do that. So be careful. And also, I've heard about this happening also with your power bill, gas bill, whatever. That's just not going to happen. Okay, any legitimate business will not tell you to go to any retail outlet and buy a gift card to pay. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, now let's talk about scams targeting taxpayers. Okay, IRS issues renewed warning on employee retention credit claims. This stuff's real. The IRS issued a renewed warning urging people to carefully review the employee retention credit. It's called the ERC guidelines before trying to claim the credit, as promoters continuing to push ineligible people to file. The IRS and tax professionals continue to see third parties aggressively promoting these ERC schemes on radio and online. These promoters charge large upfront fees or a fee that is contingent on the amount of the refund. And the promoters may not inform taxpayers that wage deductions claimed on the business's federal income tax refund must be reduced by the amount of the credit. Yep, they're out there. They're trying to get us all. And we're going to band together. We're not going to let it happen, okay? Okay, filing tax season scams involving fake Form W-2 wages. I would never even think about doing that, but here you go. The IRS warns taxpayers of new scams that urge people to use wage information on a tax return to claim false credits in hopes of getting a big refund. And guess what? These scammers are going to be sitting right there. If they talk you into it, they're going to be sitting there taking that money. You won't get a dime of it. I promise you that. It just won't happen. Okay, I know that some of you have heard about this 2020 COVID thing that happened a few years ago? Okay, scammers are still out there for this. Pandemic-related email scams. Now, in a continuing twist on a common scam, the IRS, state tax agencies, and tax industry warn tax professionals to be aware of evolving phishing scams that use various pandemic-related themes to steal client data. They're just not going to let it go, are they? Okay, so here is how it works. There was a summit, and they were talking about this during the summit. So it may differ in themes, but they generally have two traits. They appear to come from a known or trusted source, such as a colleague, a bank, credit card company, cloud storage provider, tax software provider. It may even look like it comes from the IRS. They tell a story, often in an urgent tone, to trick the receiver into opening a link or an attachment. Now, a specific kind of phishing email is called spear phishing. So rather than the scattershot nature of general phishing emails, scammers take time to identify their victim and craft a more enticing phishing email known as a lure. Scammers often use spear phishing to target tax professionals. Now, in a reoccurring and very successful scam this year, criminals actually posed as potential clients, exchanging several emails with tax professionals before following up with an attachment that they claimed was their tax information. This scam was popular as many tax professionals worked remotely and communicated with clients over email versus in person or over the telephone because of COVID. See, here was some bunch of nuts who were taking advantage of this COVID thing that's been going on, and they're still working on it. It just blows my mind that people will actually do that. Now, there's also, once the tax pro clicks on the URL and or they opens up the attachment, malware secretly downloads into their computers, giving thieves access to passwords to client accounts or remote access to the computers themselves. Now, these thieves then use the malware known as a remote access Trojan, RAT, that's a good name for it, to take over the tax professional's office computer systems, identifying pending tax returns, complete them, and then they refile them. They e-file them, changing only the bank account information to steal the refund. Okay, gotta be careful. In recent months, international criminals have used a ransomware attack to shut down a variety of companies. Criminals use similar small-scale tactics against tax pros. When the unsuspecting tax professional opens a link or attachment, malware attacks the tax pro's computer system to encrypt the files and hold the data for ransom. This is a billion-dollar industry for these scammers. These scams highlight the importance of the basic security steps recommended by the Security Summit to protect data. For example, using a two-factor 2FA or the multi-factor authentication, that's the MFA option, offered by tax preparation providers or storage providers, would protect their clients' accounts even if passwords were inadvertently disclosed. Keeping antivirus software automatically updated helps prevent scams that target software. Using drive encryption and regularly backing up files helps stop theft and ransomware attacks. Now, this is to the tax professionals. Securing your network to protect taxpayer data is your responsibility as a tax preparer. And you know that Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax Service is going to protect you. She has protected me for several years. As a matter of fact, when I'm having my taxes done, I'll tell you something she always does. She will say, you know what? You've got receipts for everything, right? And I'll say, yeah, all the receipts right there. And then she lets me know about little red flags that the IRS is looking for when they're thinking about auditing someone. You need somebody like that. And I'll tell you this about Rhonda. She also is, and I'm going ahead and turn this down. Rhonda is also, let me get that down, a conservative. You want a conservative handling your taxes. You really do, and she is. Okay, tax season is prime time for phone scams. No kidding. Yeah, this happens all the time. With the new tax season starting, the IRS reminded taxpayers to be aware that criminals continue to make aggressive calls posing as IRS agents in hopes of stealing taxpayer money or personal information. So I got one a few years ago, and it was just so funny, the sources they were using. And so they were asking, and I just made up stuff. I was just answering stuff. And so they asked if I'd had my taxes done. I said, you should know that. You're from the IRS. And then they asked just really stupid questions. They wanted my social security number to verify it was me. And I said, you're calling me. I'm not calling you. So I didn't give them my social security number. And then they kept on and on and on. So I gave a fake one. I mean, it was like really fake. I don't know whatever happened out of that. But anyway, they finally, I just hung up with them. I got tired of messing with them. You've got to be careful of phone calls. You've got to. And by the way, if you hear a rooster crowing in the background, it's probably not somebody who's working in the IRS area. You know what I mean? Probably not. I've had that happen before too. Okay. All right. We talked about the phone scams. With the new tax season started, they continue to make aggressive calls saying they're from the IRS. Okay. Now, let's talk about this one right here. The IRS Security Summit Partners reminds families to make online safety a priority during National Cybersecurity Month. Okay, during National Cybersecurity Month, the Internal Revenue Service and its Security Summit partners urge families to remain vigilant year-round, not just at tax time, and consider taking additional steps to protect their personal information. Parents, families, and others should be mindful of the potential dangers in sharing devices at home, shopping online, and using social media. Just make sure you're really, really, really careful with that, okay? All right, now let's go ahead to this one. It's the charity fraud information. So the Internal Revenue Service joined the international efforts to fight charity fraud during Charity Fraud Awareness Week. Now, this was back in October, and that is actually the Charity Week is October the 17th through the 21st. The IRS partners in this effort with charities, regulators, agencies, law enforcement, and other not-for-profit stakeholders around the world to raise awareness about fraud and cybercrime that affects charities. So let's see if we can go, just for a couple of minutes, let's talk about this. The IRS partners in this effort, as part of its ongoing commitment to fight the fraud against charities business, met with a fraud advisory panel. This is a UK-based organization leading the effort by organizing this week of awareness. Experts say cybercrime is on the rise, including attacks on charities, their supporters, and beneficiaries. Charities, regulators, agency, law enforcement, these efforts resulted in 7 days when supporters actively discussed fraud, share best practices, and also helpful resources. So let's talk about this, how to verify a charity. Someone calls you and they say, I'm with such and such charity, please give to us. So here's how you can verify a charity. We'd like to thank the Fraud Advisory Panel for reminding donors to remain vigilant, said the IRS Director of Exempt Organizations and Government Entities, Rob Malone. Unfortunately, natural disasters like Hurricane Ian provided an opportunity for charity scammers to take advantage of genuine efforts to help. I urge donors to verify a charity's tax-exempt status before donating goods, services, or money. There is a link, and you can also Google this, tax-exempt organization search. Find it, tax-exempt organization search. And if they say they're from XYZ Rubies or whatever, then you can type the name of that organization in, and it should pull up if they are a legit charity. Okay, fake charities, lots of those. In addition to cybercrime targeting charities, criminals who create fake charities are also a problem. So fake charities are part of the IRS's Dirty Dozen tax scams for 2022. As noted above, taxpayers should verify legitimate and qualified charities using the tax-exempt organization search tool on irs.gov. Donors should never feel pressured to give immediately. If you got somebody and they're selling you on the idea of doing this, like right now, give to us, you better watch them out. Anybody who is worth their salt Anyone who is legit is going to understand when you say, let me have your telephone number. I need to think about this. I've got to check my budget. Anybody who's legit is going to respect that. Okay, let's go ahead and cut into a commercial break, and we're going to be right back in just a few minutes. Y'all hang tight, okay?
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes.
Okay, we are back. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundance TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We're talking about the scammers who are out there, and they're trying to use your status and getting your taxes done, anything they can to take your hard-earned money away from you and even get you in trouble. So we're not going to let that happen. Here's another one. Beware of OIC mills. Avoid costly promoters advertising settlement within the IRS for pennies on the dollar. Let's dig in. The IRS reminds taxpayers to be aware of promoters claiming their services are needed to settle with the IRS, that their tax debts can be settled for pennies on the dollar, or that there is limited window of time to resolve tax debt through the Offer in Compromise OIC program. These promoters are often referred to as OIC meals. You can find out information on this. There's a news release, and you can Google it. IRS Dirty Dozen list warns people to watch for tax-related scams involving fake charities, ghost preparers, and other schemes. And that's what they are, is schemes. Okay, let's talk about this one. Scam targets educational institutions, including students and staff. Okay, the Internal Revenue Service warned of an ongoing IRS impersonation scam that appears to be primarily targeting educational institutions, including students and staff who have the email with .edu address. Okay, so be careful if you've got that address. Okay, now let's go into taxpayers should be on the outlook for a new version of SSN scam. In the latest twist on a scam related to Social Security numbers, scammers claim to be able to suspend or cancel the victim's Social Security number. It's yet another attempt by con artists to frighten people into returning robocall voicemails. Okay, let me give you an idea. Okay, first of all, the phone rings, okay? You answer the telephone. Okay, if it takes a few seconds for them to actually talk on the other end, it's a scam. This happens a lot. I get a lot of those. And it can look like it's from a local number, and that's how they get you. You know, because I know I'm going to answer every phone call because I'm going to think it's one of my clients. It could be one of you guys calling me with a question, or you want me to go over something with you that was on the show. So someone calls, you answer it. It takes a few seconds for them to answer. And first of all, they sound like they're from another country, and they have this weird thick accent. Hang up. Okay, it's not going to be of any good to you at all. It's only going to be bad for you. Okay, now let's talk about this one. Identity theft and unemployment benefits. Okay, because of the pandemic, this has created a lot of scammers. Millions of Americans lost jobs permanently or temporarily back in 2020 and received unemployment benefits issued by state agencies. However, in some cases, criminals sought to exploit the situation, filing for fraudulent unemployment benefits using stolen identities. Because unemployment benefits are taxable income, states issued the forms 1099-G, certain government payments to recipients and to the IRS to report the amount of taxable compensation received, and any withholding. Box 1 on the form shows unemployment compensation. Taxpayers who received a form 1099-G for 2020 unemployment compensation that did not receive unemployment should take steps outlined in Employment Theft and Unemployment Benefits. COVID tax tip 2021 through 24. People should be on the lookout for identity theft involving unemployment benefits. Okay, scammers going to scam. They're going to try. Okay, now this is one that really gets to me. This is scams who use the natural disasters. Okay, anytime there's a hurricane or whatever, they're going to try. Okay, the IRS reminds taxpayers that criminals and scammers try to take advantage of the generosity of taxpayers who want to help victims of major disasters. Okay, I'm very careful who I give to anyway. Okay, because first of all, if somebody's trying to sell you it's like a commercial or whatever, and they're showing crying women and babies and all this kind of stuff, I always Google the CEO of that organization, and I want to know what kind of money they make. Now, everyone who's helping and that generous and they're just giving of their time, whatever, and I think that they should be compensated. I really do, because that takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, but not $1 million worth. And then if you look down and you also see they got this board of directors and they're making $500,000 plus, don't give to that organization. Find a local charity. There's one that I saw, it's on television all the time, and it's about pets, animals who are being mistreated. And I was about to write a check. I felt sorry for those poor little dogs, those poor little puppies and poor little kittens. And they said they're going to send you a picture. They probably send everybody the same picture, by the way. They said they're going to send you a picture of that pet that you helped. So this is what I did. Right after that, I found out that the CEO made over $1 million a year. And also his board of directors, they all make some very hefty salaries. Well, that could take care of a lot of pets, a lot of animals. I didn't fall for it. So I went on there. That's when I got in contact with Doug McGee with Second Chance Animal Shelter. We became like the best of friends. And I said, look, I want to promote you, okay, on my television show. And so that's how we just created this wonderful friendship because of that. But you know what? I'm helping someone in my local area, and you can do that too. Wherever you're listening to me from, there is a local charity that helps pets. There's a local charity that helps anything, okay? So try to give local. That's a big help. Okay, now the IRS, we talked about those national disasters. Security Summit warns of new IRS impersonation email scam. Reminds taxpayers the IRS does not send unsolicited emails. The IRS and its Security Summit partners today warn taxpayers and tax professionals about a new impersonals. They're spreading it nationally, okay? And they're sending it on email. And again, I want to tell you, this is straight from the IRS.gov website. The IRS Security Summit partners warn taxpayers about the new campaign. They do not send unsolicited emails. Now, you can get online and you can go to the IRS.gov and send them an email and they will respond. But they're not going to initiate anything with you on your email. Okay. IRS reminder, tax scams continue year-round. Yeah, it doesn't stop just on April 15th. As the new year begins, the IRS reminds taxpayers to protect their personal and financial information throughout the year because these scammers are going to try to get you from your hard-earned money. Okay, let's talk about this one. The IRS warns of new phone scam using taxpayer advocate service numbers. The IRS warns the public about a new twist on the IRS impersonation phone scam whereby criminals fake calls from the taxpayer advocate service. Okay, another one, IRS, don't be a victim to a ghost tax return preparer. Okay, let's talk about this one. The IRS warns taxpayers to avoid unethical tax return preparers known as ghost preparers. A ghost preparer is someone who doesn't sign tax returns they prepare. Not signing a return is a red flag that the paid preparer may be looking to make a quick profit by promising a big refund or charging fees based on the size of the refund. Okay, another one. The IRS warns of tax transcript email scam. Dangers to business networks. The IRS and Security Summit partners warned the public of a surge of fraudulent emails impersonating the IRS and using tax transcripts as bait to entice the users to open documents containing malware. When they do that, when they use the malware, guess what? They're going into your computer and they're going to steal your passwords. They know how to do it. I want you to be careful, okay? IRS impersonation telephone scams. There's a sophisticated phone scam targeting taxpayers, including recent immigrants, has been making the rounds throughout the country. The callers claim to be IRS employees using fake names and bogus IRS identification badge numbers. They may also know a lot about their targets, and they usually alter the caller ID to make it look like the IRS is coming after them and the IRS is calling. Victims are told they owe money to the IRS and must be paid promptly through a gift card? Come on. Or a wire transfer. Victims may be threatened with arrest, deportation, or suspension of a business or driver's license. In many cases, the caller becomes hostile and insulting. That's not going to be the IRS, by the way. Victims may be told they have a refund due, try to trick them into sharing private information. If the phone isn't answered, the scammers often leave an urgent callback request. To get your taxes done right, what you want to do is go through Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC. She is located in Boaz, Alabama. She can take care of your taxes for you. 256-281-9903. 256-891-9903. My name is Donna Feazell, and I do appreciate you watching The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, an Amazon Fire. Again, thank you so much for watching.